Namaste and welcome to this gentle Hatha yoga practice, a calm cool down. This is a great short practice if you feel like doing something but don't feel like doing much. I've got my blanket to pad my mat. I've also got a couple of blocks. You might want to use that a bit later in the class. If you don't have them, then don't worry. But I invite you to come down to the ground and find your comfortable seat if you're not already there. Sitting up tall, allowing your shoulders to rest, and when you're ready, closing your eyes. And I invite you to leave everything aside. Easier said than done, I know. But I invite you anyway to be here now. To let go of your to-do list. To let go of anything that might be waiting for you on the other side of this practice. This is your time, especially for you. To breathe, to move, let's take a breath together, inhaling through your nose and sighing out of your mouth. I invite you now to blink open your eyes and let's begin with a comfortable seated warm-up. So we'll bring our fingertips to tap the ground. As we inhale, we'll circle sweep the hands, bringing them together overhead. You might lift your gaze towards your thumbs. And as you exhale, follow your thumbs with your gaze as you bring your thumbs and the rest of your hands to your heart space. Inhale to dive the fingertips forward, up and back. And exhale to separate those hands, bring the fingertips to tap the ground. We'll do that twice more. Inhale to circle sweep the hands together overhead. Exhale, bringing your hands down to your heart space. Inhale to dive the fingertips forward, up and back. And exhale, separating the hands, fingertips tapping the ground. Last time. Inhale, we circle sweep the hands together. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the hands to your heart. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, separating the hands, fingertips tapping the ground. Wonderful. From here, we'll come up onto all fours. Knees beneath the hips. Hands beneath the shoulders. We'll inhale to lower the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale to tuck the tailbone, pushing the ground away, chin towards chest. Inhale, coming into cow pose. And exhale, bringing the back of the heart space towards the ceiling. Marjari Asana cat. Once more with your breath. Wonderful. From here, we'll come back to our tabletop position, coming into a low lunge now. So let's wind your right hand out the way as we step our right foot forward, tipping the hips down. And here is where you might like to use your blocks at any height, or you can bring your hands to your mat. As we inhale, we're going to lift the fingertips to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands back down to the blocks or the mat as we straighten the front legs, sending the hips back for Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Foot to the ground or toes towards the face. Inhale, bending the front knee, sole of the right foot to the mat. Lifting the fingertips to the sky for Anjali Asana low lunge. And exhale back into your half split, straightening the front leg, hands to your blocks. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, bending your front knee, hips down, hands lifted. Exhale, Ardha Hanuman Asana. On your next inhale, we'll bend the front knee. We'll bring your right hand to your thigh. We'll lift the left fingertips to the sky and then begin to gently lean over to your right, feeling the stretch down the outside of the left ribs, the waist. As we inhale, come back to center, bringing the hands down to the blocks or the mat and sending the right foot next to the left. Coming back into your Manjari Asana, or you might bump your hips from side to side, or you might like to take a child's pose here. Whatever movement or stillness that feels good to you. You might even come into a downward facing dog and pedal out through the heels. But wherever you are, you have one more round of breath here. Let's meet together in a tabletop position. And from here, we'll lift the left hand, bring the left foot between the blocks, or the hands coming into our low lunge. So feeling the left sole of the foot, the right top of the foot pressing down into the ground. Finding your firm foundation, we lift the fingertips to the sky as we inhale. And then exhale, bringing the hands down towards the blocks or the mat as we straighten the left leg, sending the hips back. Ardha Hanuman Asana, half splits. Twice more. Inhale, bending your left knee, left sole of the foot to the mat, left fingertips to the sky. And exhale, straightening your front leg, hands to the blocks or mat. Testing our balance here. Inhale, coming back into your low lunge. And exhale, straighten the front leg, shifting the hips back. Your next inhale brings you back to your low lunge. Then from here, bring in your left hand to your left thigh as we lean over to the left, feeling the stretch down the right side from that right hip all the way up to your right fingertips. Wonderful. From here, we'll inhale back to center. Exhale the hands to the mat. Bring your left foot to meet the right. We'll tuck the toes and lift the hips for a downward facing dog. You might like to pedal out through the heels here. Bending and straightening, alternating between the legs. Or you might like to hold in stillness. Either way, the heels feel heavy, the hips are lifted. On your next inhale, we'll bring the knees back to the mat, below the belly, and lift the gaze. Exhale to untuck the toes, send the hips back for child's pose. Round of breath here. We'll do that twice more. Inhaling to all fours, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale to tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale the knees back to the mat, lowering the belly, lifting your gaze. Exhale to untuck the toes, send the hips back, child's pose. Again, a cycle of breath here. And you might like to stay enjoying your Balasana, child's pose, or you might flow one more time. If you're moving, as you inhale, we'll come to all fours, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale to tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale the knees, returning to the mat. And exhale, meeting together in Balasana, child's pose. Again, a full round of breath here. Inhaling lots of love in. And exhaling lots of love out. On your next inhale, we'll lift the head, we'll walk the hands in, then we'll come to sit our bottoms on the mat as we come into a half butterfly. So you might like blocks nearby for this. We'll send our left leg out to the side. We'll bring the sole of the right foot in towards our left leg. You're going to lean over towards the left leg. So you might bring your left elbow to your thigh and rest your head in your hand, or you might like to use a block to support you here. The right arm is going to lift, and it might come with the bicep towards the ear, or you might like to bring your right hand to the back of your neck, shoulder blades rolling down, snuggling beneath the heart space. Or the right arm might feel comfortable on your hip. But whichever position you've chosen, I invite you to close your eyes here. And notice where you might be feeling some sensations. Perhaps it's the inside of the extended leg. Perhaps it's the side stretch that you can feel the most. On your next inhale, we'll lift back up into sitting and we'll swap sides. So right leg goes out and left leg comes in. You might set up with a block. So you might bring your elbow to your block or your thigh. You can rest your head in your hand. Again, all those options. You might sweep your left arm up, bicep towards the ear. You might bring the hands to the back of your neck. Find space across the collarbones. The elbow is kind of lifting towards the sky rather than collapsing forward. Or you might bring your hand to your hip, especially if you feel a tingling sensation in your shoulder. Again, option to close your eyes. Notice where you feel the sensations on this side. On your next inhale, if your left arm was raised, let's bring it back down. Lift our way up to sitting. Bring the soles of the feet together this time. Bring in the hands just above the ankles as you sit up tall. Tuck in the chin so you can feel length in the back of your neck. And then as you exhale, we'll send the heart space forward, gazing between the feet. Let's stay here a few rounds of breath. You might like this active stretch, holding your ankles, pulling your heart space forward, or you might like to soften and round by dropping your chin towards your chest. Really rounding through your spine. Again, option to close your eyes. Begin to internalize your awareness. On your next inhale, we'll lift the spine. We'll bring the hands to the outside of the knees, or bring the knees together. I'm going to end with a seated meditation today, but if you prefer to come into Shavasana, then that is your choice. If you're joining me for some silent sitting, then find your comfortable position. Your seat bones rooting down into the ground, or if you're lying down, feeling your back melting into the earth. In both positions, shoulders can roll down and away from your ears, closing your eyes. And coming back to your breath. Noticing the chest rising and falling as you breathe. And if there's any areas of the body that feel like they're switched on but they don't need to be, I invite you to allow them to relax. You might begin to notice the mind getting busy. And I invite you to allow yourself not to be distracted by those thoughts. Allow those thoughts to pass by like clouds in the sky. Practicing detachment. And that can be hard sometimes. So what I like to do when my mind feels busy during meditation, which it will, I come back to my breath. We'll end our time together by taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. Bringing your hands together at your heart. May this practice serve all sentient beings. May all beings be happy, healthy and free. Thank you so much for joining me in our practice together. When you're ready, you may blink open your eyes.